to Skipping Down D&D with your hosts Tom, and I've got Doc and Damien with me, and we're going to be talking about what is D&D. So, how's it going, guys?
I'm sorry. Somebody said we were talking about porn. That's what I'm ready for.
Yeah, that's next week.
Well, we're really taking a jump there from the basics to porn. Not even teaching them how to get their stroke on.
I don't like this new setup, man. I don't see your face.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right?
Well, I suppose I shouldn't apologize.
You've been there somewhere.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I think it's a bot. Goddamn Skynet.
So let's get this started with what is D&D? What's your take? Either one of you. One simple sentence.
It's a place to go when you're trying to get back to reality away from this terrible existence we've got.
That was bleak. It's a fun game. You can play with friends.
Wait, you need friends to play this? Oh, I'm out.
Oh, yeah, I know. Right?
I'm thinking, what is D&D? It's an escape from reality. My quick answer.
A lot of people ask me what it is, and my real answer, when I'm not hanging out with you guys and been drinking a little bit, is it's basically a bunch of people get together writing a book where each character is written by a different person.
All right.
And for you younger generations, books, they're these things that used to be leather bound. They had paper, words written on them.
Yeah, they're the long blogs that you buy on Kindles.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, it's a game that you play with friends and acquaintances. Well, in the old days, you had to sit around a table and and you play the part of a character.
And you get to nerd out and use math.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate that part of the game.
I always love that part of the game. That's when nerds like me get to show off.
At least it's not 3.5 anymore when you forget half the shit because you got it written down on another piece of paper. And you got a terrible strike because you forgot to add these three things in that were activated at that 1 second, but that you don't have for the next one.
Right?
And that's just the attack for your first attack. Not everybody. Sorry.
What do you gotta do? How do you start playing?
Well,
I know for a fact that the player's handguide that says you don't need rules to play the game.
That's true. Page 1 of it.
how you start playing is you find the seediest garage you can find. It would help if you hear them watching Doctor Who inside. I think that's the equivalent for kids these days.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just rambling. I always found it was just the best way to start was, well, actually, just to start. A lot of the games come with like pre-gens, pre-sheets that you can just hand anybody. I mean, if anybody's ever visited a comic book shop, I'm sure if you visit at a particular day of the week, you'll find a group of fat guys sitting around a table. If your curiosity is that piqued.
Thanks,
Oh.
Ben.
No. We're not going to gloss over that. He went straight to fat guys.
I think that's what he said. What are you trying to say?
I believe it was fat guys. That's what I was trying to say, but Doc Trigger Me Timbers over there.
You know, that wasn't what you were saying last night.
Oh. No, I believe that was, I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
I'm sorry. Back to D&D. We're sorry, Tom. We're not trying to bogart you.
Go for it. Here I go with the ums again.
Yeah, start a count.
Right, there's one. Anyways, D&D is a role-playing game that you act out the character that you choose to play, and you have one player or one person that kind of runs the game, the DM, who tells the story. What more is there to say?
No, I think that's a wrap. It was nice talking to you guys.
Yeah. Let's just let them get down the rabbit hole, and they're gonna be like crying in a corner or something. Being like, "This guy said it's so easy. Just play. Oh, it's so hard."
So the first thing you'd need to do is roll up your character, or I guess there's gen ones, like you had mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't know. I prefer rolling my own character just because I'm into the story.
For sure.
Don't roll your character. Write your backstory.
Well, same difference.
I think that's what we all sort of thought he meant when he said, roll your character.
Yeah. So elaborate on that, John.
Elaborate on write the backstory. So, like I was saying before, this is, to me, D&D is like everybody getting together to write one book, because everybody has to take care of their one character. So, now you've got to take care of that character. So, you need to decide where did you come from. Is there anything special about them? You know, were they a street urchin because they didn't have parents, or were their parents super rich and they were actually you got to look into what motivates this person that you're about to become. What is it? I say get into your fantasy book, but look at characters that you read in fantasy, or better yet, look at the characters and try to roll out something that most triggers your own life and put your own little twist on it. You know, I'm all for the backstory. I get my character ideas, my class ideas, my race ideas, everything from writing a backstory.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. Get most of it, although I always like to add, I always like to go by the philosophy when you're writing a backstory that you write everything that you write where you're from and you play where you're going. So you want to like leave these holes in your backstory that you can fill out later as the character goes. When you think about any book you read, you never learn everything about that character as soon as they're introduced.
No, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do tend to start writing too much about my character. Sometimes it's helpful, but then sometimes it's like, oh, now I've just written his whole story. Now I'm going to take away from that story. And see where he ends up. Or she ends up.
Yeah, when I got into the habit of writing too long of a backstory, I would find I'd just end up ignoring large parts of it because, like, no, I'd rather go this direction. So it's just easier to leave those holes in the beginning.
Yeah, I have noticed that, especially because you're interacting with other characters.
Exactly.
Your character is going to change along the way, or should, anyway. So, writing too much of the story, actually, you end up not following a lot of it, or just a waste of time.
It's the nerdiest game in the world that requires you to have friends.
Well, they don't necessarily have to be friends, just acquaintances.
Actually, I started playing with, so if you're interested in nobody in your area wants to play and you're not really wanting to get online because the internet and interwebs scare you and people are mean, which is fine because I understand that they really are a bunch of assholes out there. Some of them work for me.
We are.
That's my point. They have these AL adventure league things where you can go play with a bunch of total strangers.
Gotta find the
It's actually pretty easy to find. I know D&D on Wizards' actual website, they do have a locator.
Right. Yeah, it's not that it's hard. Just if you've got one in your area.
And then if you don't, then you can turn to things like Roll20, where there's all these teams trying to be engaged, or just get on the internet and see how many people want to play. Like Damien was saying, I think the starter kit's like $13 for 5e,
Yes, it is.
and it comes with. We tested this on the stream one day. We literally opened the box and played the game right out of the box. None of us read anything beforehand, and the game was very smooth. It was ready to go. And Mind of Fendelver has become one of my favorite stories that is mass produced by Wizards.
Yeah, it's right up there with me. Right up there with some of the older Castle Ravenlofts, even. Just good stuff.
It really is. And it leads you into any other story that you want to do.
Well,
So if you and a bunch of friends want to play, that's how we started. That's how I met Tom, I found out Tom played D&D. Because I just got together with a bunch of my friends, and there were a bunch of sports and jocks from way back when, and I said, hey, I want to play D&D. And they went, yeah, that sounds like fun, we're in. All right, we'll find somebody who can play. Thank God I knew Tom from diving, and Tom was like, yeah, you should play, sure. I got a bunch of 2E books. So let's roll them up.
Yeah, we just jumped into it. A whole group of people who had never played before, and yeah, it went good for quite some time.
oh yeah. For our for the younger viewers, of course, 2E would be the edition that was out during the Bush era. Senior, that is.
Like in the 90s.
Very early 90s.
Women didn't shave everything off, and they left a little bit there, and we can call that the Bush era.
Yeah. Does this look like a cue to you?
How about when I turn this way? Anyway. But literally, and if I was you, start off with four people, 3 players, 1 DM, maximum 5 players, 1 DM if you're random. Tom, I think we had a maximum of 12 at any time at the table.
I suggest don't do that if you're brand new.
And even if you're not brand new, just don't do that. Nobody's gonna have fun. We're all gonna wait an entire session to do 2 turns.
Right.
It worked out for us, but I would not suggest doing that.
It worked out for my old crew too in the 2E days, but we also played all night. And now I'm an adult.
Yeah, it depends on how much time you've got to play, but yeah, I would definitely limit it to like 5 players in a DM. I would make that a max group.
I'd say 4 is the sweet spot if you're new to it.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a PhD in front of them?
Yep.
Always.
So, go to the copyright section. There's, in the very, very, very front, there's a little disclaimer where it's copyright. See if you can find it. I'm going to find out. I know exactly what I'm looking for.
I can barely see it.
That's because you're old.
Well, true. I don't know what he's talking about. But,
Yeah, I'm pretty lost on that one.
yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I'll let him find it. But while we're waiting for him to come back with that, for those that are tuning in, if you've seen this before, us talking, we used to do this strictly down D&D, and we got away from it, and but we're back at it. Basically, what we're going to be doing is just kind of going over some of the questions most people have on different subjects about D&D, and in this weekly Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on the Twitch, which, if you're looking at it, you probably know it's live on the Twitch on Thursdays.
Huh?
Oh, so what were you talking about, Doc?
Okay, here's the disclaimer from PhD. This is how serious Wizards of the Coast takes it. Disclaimer. Wizards of the Coast is not responsible for the consequences of splitting up the party, sticking appendages in the mouth of a leaning green devil face, accepting a dinner invitation from bugbears, storming the feast hall of a hill giant seven, angering angering a dragon of any variety, or saying yes when the DM asks, "Are you really sure?"
Never say yes.
You sure about that?
He's usually trying to tell you, hey, that's dumb.
Is that really what you're gonna do? You're about to do something really stupid.
Usually when I feel like saying that, I'm just like, hold on, let me re-describe the situation. Clearly there was a piece missing.
And all three of us are actually DMs, so this works out really well, but I have done that, where I literally stop, stare at somebody, and go, okay, maybe I missed something. So let's start over. You hear a roar, you see flames come out of the hole. Are you sure you want to put your hand in?
Yeah, I don't go over it again. I just go, is that what you're really gonna do? They say yes. Okay.
Yeah, and we have had some of the best adventures with you doing that too.
Alright. Like, hey, I gave you one chance, you didn't want to take the chance to change mine. That's fine by me.
Yeah, for me it depends on the player. If I think you're good enough at the game, I'll just be like, I won't even ask if that's what you're really going to do. Alright, that's what he did.
Alright, so somebody's here. Hello. I can't read it.
Oh. What's a better race for a wizard? Gnome or dwarf? Ability-wise. Can I? I'll take this. That would be a gnome. Quite clearly, they have the intelligence boon, which is a big bonus, ability-wise. Also, if you look at most of their abilities, they are actually geared, as they've always been, to being master illusionists. And with the schools back in 5th edition, that matters a little bit more.
Also, gnomes are a lot more fun than wizards.
Oh, for sure. They're the curious type who would become wizards. Dwarves have a tendency to look at almost everything like a tool, and a tool that's not easy and intuitive to use is a bad tool. So
And the only tool at the table is DM.
nice.
So that's a very good answer. However, Doc, you my answer.
Let's see, for wizards, I know your answer for warlock. I'm not sure if I know your answer for wizard.
So my answer would be, which he did specify, or she, because I can't read what the name is, but ability-wise. So I guess maybe I'm just being touchy, but depends what you want to play. Would be my answer.
Yeah, well, they ask, so save the dwarves for either a cleric, paladin, or fighter?
But see, what Tom's getting at is play what you want.
Exactly.
If you want to min-max, and go ahead, Daniel, explain what min-max is beyond everything else.
Okay. Well, min-max absolutely is, it's basically choosing all of your... Oh, my volume is very low, apparently.
No, mine, Doc.
Oh, Doc's volume is really low. Stop being so low.
There.
Yeah, maybe we'll give him a little boost. So min-maxing is the art, some would call it, or the irritation other DMs would call it, of picking race and class combinations specifically to boost stats, and those stats specifically to boost your class abilities.
So a lot of people will play it, I call it like a side scroll adventure, where they're building their character to be as strong as possible, min-maxing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. I build my character for whatever I think would be best for the backstory that I have going into the story. So, and part of this could be I have a point too, which is all that, but so I have no problem rolling out a half or wizard. I have zero problem having a Minotaur thief or rogue, excuse me. I also don't have a problem because I've already rolled one of having a Minotaur that plays a cowbell as a bard. But that's just me.
I'm right there.
Mervney.
So, what I kind of meant is the same thing. I tried to make my character based off of a story that I think of, or whatever I think is going to be fun to play. If it has good stats, great, bonus. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. I just want to have fun playing the character. But he did ask ability-wise, so yes, gnome would fit better to be a wizard than a dwarf would. A dwarf would make a better cleric, paladin, or fighter than a gnome would, stat-wise, or ability-wise.
Dwarves make outstanding paladins.
Right?
If you want to go stat-wise, because a paladin's best friends are strength and constitution. Yeah, I know they have spells and abilities that use other things, but that's their best friends, because they're tanks.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I forgot what we were talking about before the question came in.
I think porn.
No.
We were talking, we had just gotten into, after talking about character backgrounds and choosing those, and becoming part of a story.
I think more importantly, we're getting off topic.
We always get off topic.
So what is D&D?
Well, that's a big question for me. Let's get really deep to it.
Well, yeah, but I think D&D is such a bigger family because I know people that still think first edition is the best, second edition is the best, 3.5 is the best. Nobody believes 4 is the best. And then some people
I think it's better than the ones before it.
some people like me that I'll throw all my chips in with 5e, but that's because I think it frees up the character. It takes a lot off the deal.
I like 5. 5 is better than 4. It's the Smash Brothers effect.
I'm sounding.
He's sounding muffled. There's a lot of static on Twitch.
I can fix it. How's that?
Well, we would have to wait for the answer.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I never played 4, so I can't say anything about that. But 2.5 and 5 editions, I would say they're the best.
This is the only 2 that you played.
Well, I played 3 at one point. I was very impressed. And now I didn't play them.
No change. No change. Is this only coming from Doc, or is this all of us?
I mean, if I start turning my stuff up anymore, you're gonna get major feedback. I can't.
Hey, there's a lot of static.
Maybe it's Damien.
Well, that's why I need to know if it's just you. If it's me, then it would probably be all of us. Everyone but me, so it's you two. It's our connection.
It's just your interchange. We'll figure that out later.
Yep.
Hopefully it's at least you can hear us, obviously, so we apologize.
Yeah, they apologize for their mistake.
So I know, I'm trying to think of all the questions we used to get for what is D&D, how do I play, where do I start, those kind of things.
I think it's hard to remember the questions because they come back to the basic answer.
Hang on. Sorry about that. We'll have to reconnect with them. Should be back shortly.
Oh, there
There I am. It's cool. Murph says he has lots of questions.
Go for it.
Yeah, Tom's here to answer all your questions.
Right? If I don't have the answers, I'll make them up.
The code of the DM.
Make it up as you go.
What is Gary Gygax said? The biggest secret that you keep from the DM is that you don't need rules to play this game. I think it's important. It gives you a basis. It really does. But I hate it when arguments happen at the table because of rule lawyering. Like, I don't care. Just let it go. If it makes sense, let it play. You know.
Yeah.
If
I don't mind
makes
it.
you laugh, that's the important thing.
I don't mind the questions about that kind of thing. I don't mind the rules lawyering, as it were, as long as you understand that when the DM makes his call on it, that's it. It's over.
Right. Yeah, move on once there's been a decision. And as long as you're consistent, I think, that's the big thing is like if that rule applies this week, well, next week when we get together, that same rule should apply. As long as you're not changing the rules, and it's like, well,
But that takes us to an episode way down the line, which we'll call homebrew.
right?
I actually, they asked an important question. I think is pretty important here. When choosing a backstory, is it better to coordinate with the DM, or should the player keep some surprises? I have an immediate answer to this, but
Go for it.
I'll step back. Oh, okay. Always coordinate with your DM. If he knows what you're trying to do, there's a better chance you're going to do it. It's not him versus you.
Yeah, exactly. My answer would be, yeah, definitely talk to the DM. You want to be involved in the game. The more you talk with the DM, the more your character is going to be involved in the game. If you sit back and, don't seem to want to play, the story isn't probably going to play into your character all that often.
And on my behalf, tell me all about it, because chances are 3 sessions from now, I'm going to forget. And then you can surprise me with it.
Yeah, especially like if you're trying to do something special, or you're trying to do like I can't even think right now. If you're trying to like do something special with your character, talk to the DM. If it's something that's not in the standard rules, make sure your DM is okay with it. There's a lot of what they call homebrewed character classes, things like that. Make sure your DM's okay with that. And I know there was more typing, but it all disappeared.
Yeah, it did. I just fixed the audio issue, I believe, though.
Oh, okay.
So what you're saying is either we know what the questions are, or they can hear us, but there's not somewhere in between.
Yeah. No. We should be back on, and the chat is back and connected. So questions from this point will be received again.
So was there anything after that you want to share with us, Damien?
Yes, he did. That's what I see. I've been validated.
So it's fixed, but I know he typed more after that question.
Oh, yeah, plenty. But
I think he
can't-
was talking. The part I read after that was about table rules, which again, that's another episode. We got you back.
Oh, yeah. The house rules is a whole other discussion. You
Oh,
can't you can't alter D&D if you don't know what is D&D.
Right?
And if it's your first time playing, try to be as close to the rules as possible. You guys, it's funny to say, but you don't know which rules you're going to need to change for your personal games unless you're trying to play the rules.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely, I mean, suggest for a first time group, just use the player's handbook and play the game like that. And then as you see that, oh, we want to change this or that, go from there.
And nobody's ever ready to DM. And you can overplan, but you can't really underplan. What else do I got?
Yeah, overplan. So when you write up this whole big story, when you're going to DM this story, and the group doesn't go even close to what you had wrote up.
Yeah, how'd that go for you, Tom? Again?
Yeah, that's the way it always worked. Okay, I'll think of this way. They might go this way. They might go that way. Oh no, they went completely the opposite direction.
A little off topic, but you love this, Damien. It would get to the point where I would look at Tom, and Tom would give me a specific look, like, "Listen, motherfucker, just go the way I'm telling you to right now, because something cool is gonna happen."
Right? Yeah. I guess, and that's a good reason don't play with 12 players, because you can't think of the 58 million possibilities that those 12 people are going to think of.
Oh yeah, and you think it's tough having a couple of rounds in when you're all together. Imagine when 12 people decide they're going to split the group.
Right? Ugh. Yeah, live and learn. Oh, you haven't played yet. I love the podcasts and Rolling Bros, Dragons, Critical Role. Yeah, if you like those things, you got to find a group.
Wait, what does it say? I can't see it.
It says, I haven't played yet, no time yet, but I love the Bros and Dragons podcast, Rolling Bros, Drinks and Dragons, and Critical Role.
It's supposed to be Drunks and Dragons. I love them too.
Yeah, if you're listening to those and you're enjoying it, definitely try and get in a group sometime.
And I hope you're not waiting for episode 3 of Rolling Bros. That's kind of went down the tubes. Me and administration had a disagreement, and they decided they didn't want to do it anymore.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. I won. I don't have to do any editing that I don't need to try to shove into my day anymore.
I would suggest a fistful of credits. I hear their DM is quite dreamy.
He's sexy as hell if he'd ever show himself.
That's true.
Thank God.
So how long did you want to go with this? Your normal hour and a half?
Yeah, hour and a half, whatever. Or we can do 35 minutes.
Oh, no. I was just wondering. No, don't be sorry for whatever, man.
Yeah. No, we enjoy the interaction.
Right?
I like the chat. It's like a human that you don't have to see them.
The reason that's really funny is we all went out to dinner downtown Chicago before I moved to Seattle. Watching Damien, there's a lot of people on the street, man.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of crowds, which is why I moved to Chicago.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, it's okay to be in crowds as long as they don't have a high murder rate. So
That's true.
Yeah. Some days he's human.
Who knows? The murder rate might calm me down. I might be like, there we go. That's what I've been waiting for.
They're trying to get rid of the crowd for you.
yeah, and one more tip for the new people, and it clicked. Stay with the core rules. Wow, now you got me doing it. There's all this stuff like Volo's Guide and Player's Companion, and it has expanded races and expanded classes and expanded backgrounds. Don't overwhelm yourself like that. Play something in the core rules. They're made to be as simple as possible to get you in the game. And if you're brand new at role-playing games, try to stay away from the caster classes. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying it's not a good idea to jump right into that one.
Yeah, unless you've got a really, really good memory. I would definitely. And if you've got a whole brand new group and nobody's experienced, well, somebody's going to have to do it. But if you've got a better memory than somebody else, I would take that.
If you're looking for a beginner race, as you say, so basic fighter, or if you look for a really easy beginner class, fighter's a good one. I would also perhaps recommend checking out Barbarian in 5th edition, primarily because it'll give you a little bit extra stuff so you won't get bored. Not to say fighter is boring, but it'll give you a little bit extra stuff, and you'll find, I think, especially as a new player, a lot more immediate success.
Yeah, if you start off at level 1 with any class, it goes slow enough to teach you.
Yeah.
The reason I was talking about spellcasting was there's so many little nuances. And you don't want to be caught off guard when your brand new DM learns that you're actually supposed to have components to cast certain spells.
Or a spell focus.
Right.
Or to know what the variant or those rules are, or what the difference is, or which spells you could switch out when.
I mean, if you really want to dip and check out a spellcaster, I highly suggest Sorcerer to start out with. Has a smaller amount of spells, but you still get a good amount of casting per day. And most of the Sorcerer spell list are very straightforward spells.
I agree.
Yeah, Wizard.
Yeah, Wizard can be a little bit trickier.
Yeah. I was trying to think.
Hey, if you're up for the challenge, come straight in and be a tiefling warlock.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's... You don't want to do Warlock. You don't want to do Wizard right off the bat. I mean, personally, I wouldn't. But to each his own, I guess. I mean, I don't want to tell people, oh, don't try it. You know, if they want to try it, go for it. But just be warned that it might be overwhelming if you're brand new.
Well, if you're brand new and you're getting in with a experienced DM, normally, and I say normally because every DM has their thing, but most DMs up until about level 5 will let you change around your character to make it something you enjoy playing. After level 5, it gets way more complicated to do that. So not a lot of DMs will let you do it.
Right.
I actually just instituted a rule in an upcoming game that they can't do it until 4.
That makes sense too. But I mean, like, if you're playing 1st and 2nd level and you absolutely despise your character, like, you find out that it's not what you wanted or how you built it was wrong, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know about making them stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather, especially at an early level like that, just have them make a new character. You're just going to be behind, 300 experience points?
Well, and I don't do that. I let them, if it's just a manipulation of their character, I let them do it and keep what they have.
Oh.
You need to teach the baby to type. That'll solve the problem. Sorry, I'm just...
No, he's right. I read it, and he's absolutely correct. Get that baby typing. I'm surprised that baby's not hacking. That's all I'm going to say.
I need to get this to scroll because I can't see what's at the bottom of the screen.
Oh.
That's because Damien keeps playing with it.
No basic fighter. That's the last thing I can really see.
Yeah. It's, he mentioned about the rage ability. Will, this is tamp down the armor worry. I'm assuming he's talking about the resistance that you get when you rage as a barbarian. How it makes up for, not wearing armor.
Every class and every archetype really does have something it brings to the table. I was talking about this last night because I do play Adventure League out here in Seattle. And the one that I go to, we had a guy last night, never played 5e before. He's played before and he knew what he wanted to do for role-playing experiences. I helped him roll it out, and everybody was like, no, you got to try this, or they've got a new archetype, which is legal. And I hate it when people do this. It's like, no, let him roll his character And I found out later he just wanted it for the role playing experience, not necessarily because he was min maxing, where like a lot of people at the Adventure Leagues were just trying to min max.
Yeah. For those that do know me, you know, I hate that. I'm old school. I'm old, right, Doc?
Oh yeah. He played with Gary in his garage, I think. He won't admit it, but I'm pretty sure it's true.
That I need to make the, you know, God character. That doesn't float with me. I hate that.
No, you'll kill him right away.
Right. As I can always find a creature that is more godly than your godly character. So, yeah.
So, yeah. They asked if it's better to originally create the character's personality.
Yeah. Yeah. Organically create the personality.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
tie
create too
yourself
much of it.
down. Don't tie yourself down by alignments right off the bat. Don't even worry about alignments.
Yeah, that's the alignment. I mean, you don't want to play your character just to that alignment that you decided right off the bat you wanted to, you know. Just play your character, and that alignment will come out in the way you play your character.
And if Damien's your DM, every now and then he'll show you a little chart of how bad or good your character's been.
Yeah, take points and remove them on a grid. Actually, my new 5e sheets have those built right in.
Nice. He had us. He had our little characters on this big grid map, and part of it was darker and part of it was lighter. You know what you would kind of expect from a grid.
Yeah, part of it was red, one side red, the other side blue.
He would move us, like if you did something and he thought it was evil, he'd move you towards the evil side.
Yep.
I like that idea.
Oh, it actually worked out pretty well, and to get my original group into it while we used it, I would put some of their older characters that I have played in other games of mine on the grid to like kind of give them a reference. Like, this is where some of these people you know would be.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've done the, you know, you picked your alignment, and I'd give little tick marks every time they did something opposite of it, and then, you know, give them a warning. By the way, your character's about to change his alignment. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually just gave them a warning because the rules were it was 10 on each side, and if you get to 5, that's when you're officially whatever, you know, you just moved 5 up to, whether law, chaos, good or evil.
Right.
To be fair, the only, like, when I first encountered Star Wars, one of the first things that threw me off guard was there's no alignment. And
Oh, yeah.
that was so foreign to me, but that taught me how to play a much better character. So like you said, ignoring it in the beginning is such a good idea.
Right. Yeah. I mean, every DM is different, but yeah, I think if you know, unless your DM is strict that you got to give that alignment right away,
Hmm.
I wouldn't worry about it.
The only time I'm strict on alignment, I think, is cleric. I'm not that strict with paladins anymore. It's all about the cleric. And it's just a matter of, do you line up with your god? Because I like taking cleric's powers away.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think I don't know, taking people's powers away. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that.
I do it with my more advanced groups. If I had brand new players, it wouldn't be like, that was 5 strikes against you. You're gone. Your powers are gone. That's it.
Right?
But that's because it takes me on another side quest where they've got to go
Yeah.
and redeem themselves.
I was just about to say that's a healthy opportunity for redemption, and redemption means another adventure.
all right. So
Because there's this positive realm and there's this negative realm, and we exist in the material realm in between in the game. And so all power is drawn from these two places. It only makes sense that you can get far enough away from one plane that you couldn't tap into it anymore.
Right.
They say, well, divine magic is very finicky. I agree. It's too finicky. I say burn them. Burn the clerics, the warlocks, the witches, the heretics. Bring on the science. The sweet, magical wizardry science.
Yeah, like wild magic sorcerers. Every time you cast a spell, you have to roll a d20.
It's the best.
It is entertaining sometimes.
So speaking of table rules, Damien, we put that as a table rule, where it didn't matter what kind of magic you were doing. If you rolled a 1 casting a spell, we went to the wild magic table.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then I played a fighter.
No, everybody got mad when we stopped using it.
I bet it could add an element of fun.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, how often are you rolling a 1, really? So it's not like it's happening every time you go to cast a spell, you know. But when you do roll that 1, look out, because who knows what's going to happen.
It's good times. Good times. And my favorite was being stuck in a labyrinth I created that was so elaborate, I literally had to draw a line so I would remember how to get out of it. And the one map that was in it, the caster rolled a 1, rolled wild magic. Anything they touched for the next like 1 to 4 minutes or whatever would burst into flames. And they found the map, and he goes out and he's like, "Oh, I grabbed that."
Yeah. Great. All right, so what's it say? Well, something, I don't know.
Oh,
That's
that was
well,
when he
divine
said,
magic is very finicky, and then below that 5% on a d20.
"Uh-oh, math nerd."
Yeah.
Everyone got all quiet because you use math.
Right?
You done did it. DMs don't know how to use math. That's why we have shit like, here, let me show you. This was given to me by a DM friend. It's literally a chart of everything you can do on your turn and how it works according to the rules.
Oh, wow. I have some players I would love to just give that to them and be like, here, just start reading this aloud.
Here's my favorite part, though. It shows you, like, if it's a cube, here's the area it affects.
Oh, yeah. Chances of rolling a 1, 5% on a d20.
All right, there you go.
Oh, you didn't know that? I knew what he meant.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm just being the voice of the people.
Yeah,
The
unfortunately,
person.
the way my screen is set up, I can't read what's at the bottom.
No, it's the way Damien's screen's set up that you can't read the one on the bottom.
It up a little bit and make it scroll or something.
Oh, you're talking about, you have our videos in the way of it, don't you?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's not even my fault, it's Google's.
No, I can't see, like, the last line on my screen says chances of rolling a 1.
Yeah.
And I know there's something under that.
Oh, yeah.
Last screen on mine is alignment matter was a critical roll, or on a critical roll. So anything under that I can't see. I can see his name and like the first word.
That's your screen.
Yeah, that's, we're using different reses here.
Technically, it is a
Here,
cheat
I got
sheet.
a great idea.
This mat is
How's-
actually for the players.
Is
not
the great idea opening up the chat?
No, you could move the chat to the other side and put my picture in that little wizard guy on the other side of the screen.
next
Yeah.
week.
Oh,
Heck,
that
please do not get him started. God, he will start changing things right now.
I'm good. I just moved it up a bit. Can you see
I can see it perfect now.
where it says cheat sheets? There you go. But yes, I will do that for the future.
Awesome. Yeah, if I turn on my Twitch, I won't be talking on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was actually created for the players. It wasn't created for the DM.
Oh, those sheets.
Yeah, this
Well-
one that I'm holding, it literally is labeled. Let me see if I can get it in the camera for you.
Oh yeah.
This way, this way, this way. Oh, don't talk. There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
It says D&D 5e player cheat sheet.
that it does. Where'd you get that?
One of the ladies at the AL is a brand new DM this year, and she's actually really good at it. Well, she decided to turn these things that they gave the DMs into like giant sheets.
Huh.
That's pretty cool.
I will take pictures of it and put it on our Tumblr and have John put it on our Instagram so you all can create your own.
It's awesome.
I'll even put it on the Twitters and Facebook.
Anytime you can come up with a nice cheat sheet, that's a good idea.
Oh heck yeah. Who has a DM screen?
I
Me.
do.
In your DM screen, is it just the regular stuff that came on the DM screen, or did you print off some cheat sheets to clip on?
Oh, I haven't opened it.
I have a notebook.
I have clipped on cheat sheets and another one. Where do you get? What does that say? It's really blurry now.
Yeah, it's blurry.
It says, where do you get your best adventure stories? Books, movies, all of the above?
All of the above.
Yeah. Wherever you find your medium, really, even if it's video games, whatever you're doing, if you find interest in it, it's probably telling you a story, whether you know it or not. Just draw influence from it.
Yeah, I got a great idea for an NPC one day, literally riding on the subway in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, people you know, movies, books, just out of your head somewhere.
Video games, movies, listening to other DMs. You know, we put Bros and Dragons out there in the air, and I've got a bunch of emails back where everybody was like, "I like that everybody starts with amnesia thing. I'm going to put it in one of my games."
We have, we've started a game off of jokes about the Dan Ryan being under construction.
Nice.
That's a superhero game that came off of that. And that was a running gag the whole game. It was under construction. It was
But
a 50-year
everybody
time span.
everybody gets sick and tired. I think when you first start playing, that whole you meet in a tavern thing is cool. But then after your third or fourth campaign, you're like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing in another fucking bar?
Bunch of drunks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always looking for new ways to. This is why I play very odd tabletops now.
See,
There's
I
that
had
exact reason.
I had the one, and use it if you want to, where everybody rolled a character, and then they were in the final fight before the king on a name day, and they all had to fight each other.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I did. And then a dragon attacked, and then the king ordered them to hunt down the dragon, and that's how the story started.
I can't read what that says.
App crashed for me. I got that one. It's blurry, but I got it.
Yeah. App crash for you for a bit. In the bar, trying to bang the wench.
You get a great ideas for characters too. Tom rolled a character for one of my games. Who was that? Demakos? Was that his name?
What, the warlock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all he did was try to. Hey, wow! There's a big box in my face. He tried to charm everybody to do everything for him, even though he was a badass warlock. He literally just like tried to either convince or charm spell everybody.
Yeah. He was a cold-hearted killer.
That's okay. Byrell changed him over.
You remember the guards?
I do.
I don't think she changed him much.
No, that's the same kind of crazy. That's like Joker and Harley shit there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, have fun making your character. Make something, unique. Um, don't worry about flaws in their abilities. Play into those things.
Pick your favorite fictional character, honestly, and ask what you like about it. Start from there.
And if what you like about your favorite fictional character is they can't be defeated or they're super strong, or if your first words are Drizzt Do'Urden, go ahead and pick another one.
Yeah, pick another one.
Yeah.
And then write to R.A. Salvatore and tell him to stop.
No, so Bob tried to play it in his brother's game one day. He did roll out a Drizzt character. His brother went out of his way to kill Drizzt, and he goes, "Okay, now that that's done, can we get back to the real game?"
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Don't pick a well-known character like that and try and make the same exact character. Do something original.
I did Jafar the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wizard. Well, my first real character I got into.
And especially don't name your character after a major character.
Yeah, don't choose the same name.
What are you talking like everybody on some kind of chat for fantasy and their name's Sephiroth something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Make up an original name. If you can't come up with something, search Google, like fantasy, not fantasy. That's not a good start. D&D random name generator.
Well, they have fantasy random name generators too, which are fine.
I always go with the philosophy if I can't think of a name, I'll have Google Translate take badass motherfucker and just translate it to some language and phonetically spell it out.
But like my first rogue ever, there was a thing about his name and it took the players forever to figure it out.
What's that?
What, Umbra?
Yeah.
His name means man, sorry guys, sometimes words just don't hit me right. It's a waning portion of the moon, but I can't remember the words I'm looking for. I'm sorry. But it literally meant something. It just took them almost a year and a half to figure that out. And I think it was John who finally was like, "What the hell?" Because somebody put it in a meme. I remember that. It was on fucking Facebook.
Nice. Yeah. So one of my favorites, which I don't really name my characters, but the NPCs for my homebrewed world
Yeah.
are usually some combination of a band name, of a band.
It really is.
Yeah. Like
His first character was Slater.
Yeah. That was from a movie, so But yeah. That's what I usually do with my NPCs.
I think my favorite name I've ever come up with, this is a Star Wars one, but still a tabletop one, was Rend or Lim. And yeah, I love that name. Rend or Lim.
Okay.
It's
I
Star Wars,
get
yeah,
it.
it's awesome. And then he became a Sith and he was Darth Rend.
Darth Ren. I'm
Yeah,
not sure that's how it works.
That's sometimes it does. Sometimes they do keep their actual name.
Was Umbra similar to Moon?
I think it was. And I think that his last name, because what was it? No, not Slayer the Halfling Ranger. It was Slater the, I don't remember, human fighter, I think.
Yeah, he was a human fighter.
Umbra, and then his last name meant moon. I can't remember what I named it. It was some elvish name because it was an orphanage name.
Oh, and he's saying Slayer. Slayer. It was Slater. With a T in there.
But yeah, there's many things that you could do with D&D too. You don't have to stay within this realm. I think I saw people playing a game where they created a post-apocalyptic event that happened in their area. So they were literally just renaming things around Seattle. And I thought it was a great idea because they would start describing the area and people would be like, that really sounds like Renton Highlands or something. And they were like, well, yeah.
We had a lot of the same fortune when we played our superhero Chicago game. Was just knowing things. But yeah, like random names. I'm rambling again. Like Mario Lopez and Saved by the Bell.
He's talking about Slayer, the Halfling Ranger.
Oh, later.
Slater.
Yeah, like that, but I think more of Dazed and Confused.
It was totally dazed and confused.
If you've seen that movie, I don't know. I kind of forgot that kid's name Saved by the Bell was Slater. I'm a little too old for that show.
But if you look anywhere on the interwebs, you'll find that people took the rules of D&D and created other games outside of the world of D&D.
Oh yeah.
Jack wants me to play. He keeps shoving stuff in my lap. I got you, buddy.
Oh,
Dad,
I thought you were talking about some guy actually downloading some of the stuff you were talking about online and just keeps tossing it in your lap like, here, run this or play this.
No, you know Jackie. Come here, buddy. He's the one breathing heavy in the background. That doesn't sound good either.
I don't know what else we could say about what D&D is.
It's a concept. It's an idea, a concept. It's reality changing. It is, for some people, it's becoming something you've always wanted to be that you couldn't. It's about people that are even paraplegic playing a game where they're a warrior that can walk around, and that's enough for them. And let's just touch on the fact that they use D&D to help autistic kids learn how to do social interactions.
Right. So you know what I was thinking while you were saying that was it's kind of a weird concept, and you know, for the younger generation, I don't know if this is good or bad, but it's a time where you can actually sit down, look across the table, look at somebody in their face, and actually interact with them without holding your phone and texting and you know.
Unless you're playing on Roll20 with the app, which is on your phone.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I don't think it works on a phone yet.
Yeah, it does. I logged in yesterday.
Well, don't do that.
I'm sorry, what?
My turn. What just happened?
What do you lose on playing online versus in person? This
Interaction. Interaction.
I have a
Total
lot
interaction.
to say about that one. Oh my.
Go ahead, Mr. Oh my.
You don't. I'm in the opinion you don't. But in all honesty, you can still get the interaction and the playtime online. But yeah, sitting around at a table, you're definitely missing passing around perhaps a beer or two while doing it. And having people in the room. I usually run a good mix of both, so I don't notice it.
There's a big difference between rolling dice and clicking dice. I'm sorry.
Well, for what my thought on that is, I don't know how many times it's already happened since we've been talking. So in an hour, how many times have we talked over each other and had to stop to let the other person talk? But when you're in the same room, you know, you kind of know when somebody's about to say something, you know, and well, sometimes yelling over the other person is fun too. But but when you're online, if I'm talking and they're talking, I can't hear what they're saying. I can only hear myself. So
yeah, that's a big challenge to overcome in online games that I've tried in some of the games I run to do it, but yeah, no, that is very true.
Get a bunch of people together who are trained to do a podcast together. They'll learn because the person doing the recording will end up yelling and screaming at them until they stop doing it.
Well, I think the important part, what you said, is you'll learn. And most of the groups that I've played long term online, you find a rhythm.
Yes. I'm just saying I'm not knocking online games. We do it, but that's because I'm in Seattle. Tom's in Northern Illinois, and he's about to DM a game that we want to restart a campaign that we started one time. And, you know, on the podcast, I have John and Tom in Northern Illinois, myself in Seattle. I got Mike in Northern Illinois, and then I got Kylie on the East Coast. I mean, yes, there's some great things to say about online gaming. It definitely lets people play when they wouldn't be able to. Having said that, though, there's a huge, I don't know, it's way different to play with people on a tabletop. In my opinion, and that's all it is an opinion, it's a lot more fun to be there and see their faces when they figure out what you're doing, or watch the DM's face when things are going on. Or like Tom was saying, sometimes talking over each other only is interrupted because it's on a digital medium, but talking over each other produces funny stories or great ideas at a tabletop game.
Yeah, that's too true. You do have that. Like, my preferred method for myself is using primarily digital tools, running the game from my end with a local group. So like we'll usually have the map on one big screen where everybody's accessing it, but I do still prefer the local group.
But there's something to be said about rolling dice.
Oh yeah, no, we still roll the dice doing that too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Instead of digital dice, which, don't get me wrong, digital dice have done me good. I'll be at work and I'll be on a break and I'll be thinking about something and I need to roll a dice for it, and I pull up my phone and I have an app that rolls dice. I'm not saying that they don't have their functionalities, or we'll be recording or doing something or playing a game and I totally forgot my dice somewhere. These things are great, but in the end, I don't know. There's just something about sitting around a table physically rolling dice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I like that.
Like that. So yeah, he said there's a stronger bond when you're playing in person. I think so. If you're going to be the DM, or hopefully your DM makes the choice to make a rule of no cell phones at the table, you're all concentrating on the game. When you're online like this, you know, you don't know whether that person's really there or not. Hopefully they're all, you know, into the game and paying attention. But sometimes you get people who, you know, things are going on in the background and they're not paying attention.
He's right, I've had to fight to pay attention.
And speaking of house rules, your first one should be you get a great big paddle, and the first person caught touching their phone gets a paddle.
Right?
Paddling.
Yeah.
You were talking about the structure of D&D seems good for social media and for your son who's autistic, which I understand. I have a daughter who's autistic. I agree with that, but what I'm talking about with D&D and using it for social structures are actually being used by clinical psychologists in such a way that it doesn't overburden. So be very careful with that. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying be careful.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about online is, especially if you're in a place where you don't have a bunch of people, where you can get together, online is a great way to go. I'm not saying it's bad or it's wrong. We do, like Doc said, we and Damien said, we all do it all online too. Yeah. But there's nothing like
what I praise online for. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What I praise online for is it's the ability to just play with a lot of people that I normally wouldn't be able to get at the table.
Right.
Now I have a lot more local players in my current position, so I can be spoiled again.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, you know, for me, I started on tabletop because, well, the internet wasn't really available back then. So, I kind of, enjoy the tabletop because that's where I started.
Could you imagine Roll20 when there was dial-up, and then your mom wanted to use the phone, and you're in the middle of a game?
Right.
Mom, slay the dragon.
That's what the kids are calling nowadays.
Yeah. I'm not sure if dial-up was even available when I first started, but
And if you didn't have a euphemism for touching yourself before, you slaying the dragon.
Oh, and be prepared because people have messed up minds that play this game. Obviously,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's a good point. Finding a group that you mesh with, whether it be online or in person, there may be things that come up that you're just not comfortable with or that you don't want to deal with. And, that's something that you got to be able to talk to the group and either, get around it or, unfortunately, sometimes you just got to find a new group.
usually your group will understand, especially if it's something that's and not necessarily personal, but is borderline. Like I have one rule in any of my games is there's just no I don't even let you talk about rape. It's not gonna happen. Don't even play that game.
Jeez.
Right.
But I know other people are like, oh, it's really part of life, so it's got to happen, and blah blah blah. Never, and goddamn dog, never in any of my games, and not because I'm worried about somebody being offended. I'm worried about bringing up something from somebody's past they don't want to talk about, but it'll trigger in the game, which is not a good place to talk about your shit.
No.
Right. Yeah, I agree. There, and there's things that you just got to be mindful of the people you're playing with. How long have you known these people? Things like that. Do you know them at all? Just be mindful of, people's feelings, I guess, but if it's a group of old friends, you all pretty much know each other well,
Yeah, I've had to pull storylines for stuff like that before. A player that was in our game, his dad died right around the time for his character. There was going to be a storyline linked to his parents dying, which I totally pulled.
Right.
Yeah, you just... It's a group game, so it works better when you play where everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
I think that brings us down to the other part of D&D where, and I think it was hit on here earlier, is D&D is really a bonding experience too. I mean, you cannot play a long campaign without really getting to know people. And especially if it's a friend of a friend that's there and it's not somebody you would normally hang out with, and you learn to play with them.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, talking about, careful of what you say and what you do. I mean, you don't want to be so careful that you're not enjoying it, but, just be mindful of other people. Example that I will give for myself was, so when I first started playing D&D with Doc, as we explained earlier, it was a bunch of people. It was a bunch of people that I didn't know. The only person I knew was Doc. And
Who?
New to me was there were 2 females in the group. I never played D&D with females before. So it was a little kind of like, okay, how far should I push things? And I just took the stories kind of slow until I got to know the people.
It was 3 sessions of him asking them, are you sure you want to be here? I'm just kidding.
Come on. It was, but you just got to be mindful of, things you might or might not say in front of other people that you don't know, male or female. No,
I agree. I like the female aspect. I've learned the women have a weirder mind than the guys, and it usually makes me laugh harder.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything negative about, females playing. It's cool. I think it's awesome. It just,
No, but I'm on the same wavelength with you though. That's what I'm trying to say. At first, I was like, "Oh, should we say this?" Blink if you're here against your will. Yeah, I got to use that one. But what I'm trying to say is, they want to play, and it took me a while to learn too that I don't need to be all defensive for them. If they need me to step in, they'll say something.
right.
But sometimes the girls play with the boys probably better than the boys, and I've seen the guys cry. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's awesome to have a mixed group. I don't know. It just brings another aspect to it, and most of the females that I've played with are crazier than the guys.
Well, and think about the awesome female DMs that we know too.
Right. Yeah.
And they're incredible. Like they blow it away every time, and it's the ones that I know that we both know, which we're not going to mention here because they're starting their own brand and asked us not to.
Right.
So if you can get that tip, I'm trying to talk to you. AB for your initials. They're amazing people, and I've learned so much from them too with their DMing. But that stigma of this being an all guys thing, and the guys never have sex, and they're just nerds, it makes me laugh because I didn't start playing until after I was married with 2 kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you're interested in playing, find a group, jump in, get to it.
If you're in the Seattle area, just show up at Phantasm Comics and Game Emporium or something like that. I'm there every Sunday at 11 o'clock, and I do a homebrew adventure.
Nice.
Because I want to play tabletop.
It's a long drive, though.
Not for me.
It is for me. About what, 2 days?
However you do 2,100 miles. I did it in 2 days and do not recommend that.
Yeah. Is Damien still here, or did he leave?
I'm still here.
I was going to say poke him with a stick, see if he's breathing.
Right.
I rolled a 1 on my medicine check.
He's dead.
He wasn't, but he is now.
He just gave me 2 failed death saves. I'm still at full HP.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know if he had any more questions, but it's getting about that time. So, what do you guys need to shamelessly plug?
I want to shamelessly plug this. Spread the word. Spread the word, people. Just spread the word about this. It's only going to continue if we get enough people in here asking questions, because we can't really talk to each other, as you've seen. I'm just kidding. We would just talk to each other about something way off topic for hours.
Right.
You can follow me at I am DM Doc. You can follow the whole Bros and Dragons crew at Bros and Dragons INC. I don't know. You can find it if you go to at Bros and Dragons podcast. It's always hooked up there on Twitter or Facebook. You can follow Damien at D21 Gaming. I know that.
Yeah. It's pretty much D21 Gaming everywhere. That's what it is. If you haven't found me there, then you obviously didn't hear me when I said D21 Gaming. But more importantly, I want to come see how the old Dusty crew is doing. A fistful of credits on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time.
That's on the Bros and Dragons channel. Tell them about Ghostbusters. I think that's even better.
Oh, Ghostbusters. So I found a RPG online that's been distributed because it's well out of print. came out before the second Ghostbusters movie. I think it was only like a year or so after the first one. And the entire point of the game, of course, not just catching ghosts, but the ins and outs of ghost busting. Watches you can watch on T21 Gaming. We usually do every other Sunday. We'll be on the 1st. As the group tries to evade taxes on their building, as they deal with Lou from accounting, and as no matter how big the paycheck, Gary the mechanic finds a way to get them sued or screwed out of the money.
Sounds pretty interesting.
It's a very freeform game with very basic rules that are. I'm really stretching the term rules when I call them that, and it's too much fun.
Damon, do you want to talk about your pet project too?
Oh no.
Okay, we'll keep that on the DL then.
It's just all I'll say right now is it's a game that doesn't require a DM.
All right. So we'll hear maybe in a couple months.
Let's say a month.
Okay, cool.
Would be a good amount of time at the current pace.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we'll be back here next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can contact me at, what's my handle? At Bros Old Guy on Twitter. Until then, later.